Okay,
So,
so my situation is with my daughter. Like, I have a 12-year-old daughter and an almost 2-year-old son, which is obviously just growing up and learning. And I have a recurrent stressful situation where she leaves like toys all over the place and stuff all over the place, and he's getting hurt with them. Like, he's hitting himself with stuff that he shouldn't be playing because they're not toys at all. So actually today just happened that she left the tripod downstairs, and he just hit himself with it, and he got a little bit of cut in the eye. So I'm like, I'm frustrated with her because she's not like putting the stuff back when she grabbed it, and like leaving it there like at risk for our son. So yeah, I think I like to do it on that.
okay, okay. So, what is the what is the should in this situation? She's not putting the stuff back. What should she be doing? What's your argument with reality here?
Well, the way I'm looking at it is that she should put everything back where she got it from, because we try to like keep everything organized in places, obviously for his safety too, more than anything. So what I feel like is she should, if she grabs something, she should put it back as soon as
Okay,
she finishes like working on it or doing anything with it.
okay. So, when you look at that situation with the tripod, um, she didn't put the tripod back, right? That
Hmm.
was the whole issue. So she
Right.
should have put that tripod back. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. And can you absolutely know it's true? She should have put the tripod back.
Hmm. Actually, no. No, if I weight it, like if I put that in a balance, I think the no, that's a bit more than the yes. So I would go with no.
Okay. So how do you react when you see that tripod there and your son he hit himself with it, got hurt, and you think she should have put the tripod back and she didn't?
I get angry. I get frustrated. I feel like she should have done it. Um, I go back to like all the times where she left stuff on the floor, just dropped it, didn't pick it up, and put it back where it's supposed to be. And I see her doing it again in the future because like that's a constant thing that we have to like kind of have to go through with her in this learning process, is that she keeps on doing it. So I can see that happening over and over again. And like I feel frustrated because it's not, I try to tell her not to do it, but she keeps on doing it. So I don't have like I feel powerless in the situation because I can control that. She's just like, I'm telling her to do it and she's not doing it. And I feel frustrated because no matter what, how many times I say it, she's like not doing it. So that's really frustrating.
So how do you treat her when you think she should have put it back?
Mm. I would blame her for what happened to my son, for sure. Like, she's not at home right now, but I'm blaming her. In my mind, I'm putting everything, it's her fault. Yeah, I'm not treating her not nicely at all because I think she's guilty of it. Like, she's responsible for it and she didn't pick it up. So I'm putting everything on her. Yeah, I'm not treating her nicely at all.
Okay. So, who would you be in that same situation without the thought that she should have put the tripod back? When you see your son got hurt,
I wouldn't be looking for who's responsible for it. I was just like, interesting. What came to mind is that because I was blaming her for doing it, I was actually not paying that much attention to my son, who's the one that got hurt.
hmm,
So it looks
interesting.
like all the focus went to her and blaming her and not taking care of him. So without the thought, I would just like focus fully on him and what happened to him and what needs to be done so he can feel better, like give him a little bit of treatment or something. And yeah, I wouldn't even think about her at all. I would just think about the situation that just happened and like pay attention to my son, which is the one he's the one who needs it right now, not her.
Hmm. So interesting to see how that thought, she should have put it back, takes you away from the immediate need of the situation.
Yeah. I did a lot because all I did was like look at him crying and I just briefly see what happened and I didn't even like took enough time to calm him down. Obviously he was with his mom, so it was not that he was alone, but still I was not like giving him like trying to calm him down a little bit or doing anything. I was just like that was like fuel for me to think about my daughter and blaming her even more
Hmm.
than whatever happened to him. So
Really good to see. Yeah.
yeah, it's like
So, so we're seeing again the effect of the thought. She should have put it back.
mm,
It's pretty clear. So let's consider, could there be a turnaround to this thought that may be truer? She should have put it back.
the one I see I should have put it back.
Okay, so how could that be as true or truer in this case with the tripod?
It's true because I actually saw it there earlier and I didn't put it back. So I can totally see that being 100% true. I don't have to wait for her to do it if I can do it. If I just see it there, I could just easily put it back. So that's definitely true. And the same for other situations as well. Like instead of I can let her know about it and then do it instead of waiting for her to do it and get frustrated with the situation over and over again.
Right. Especially if you want your son to be safe.
Right, right. It's about him, not her.
Right.
Right. And it doesn't mean that we're just like allowing her to throw anything and leave it around the house without any responsibility. But the priority is our son because he's the one that is learning how to walk and moving around the stuff in the house, which is always a danger for them being that small.
Right. Like you become the backup for her. Like you ask her to do it, but if she doesn't do it, then at least you can do it so that your son doesn't get hurt. And
Right.
then while she's learning to take that responsibility.
Right. And that makes me think of that thing about leading by example kind of thing where you can tell somebody to do something, but if you do it, that's going to teach them how to do it also. And you never know. Maybe you don't even have to ask next time, and they'll just do it.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, if you make it a big deal about who's picking it up, then it becomes a big deal. Picking up the tripod becomes a big deal, and that's what she learns. And but if you just ask her, and if she forgets, you pick it up, then she sees it's not a big deal. Then maybe it becomes not a big deal for her too.
That's really interesting. I never looked at it that way. I always went to the negative side of things. Oh, you didn't do it. That's a really
Right.
interesting one.
Then it becomes like a power struggle, right? Like you should do it. I told you to do it. You're not
Hmm.
doing it. Now it's a struggle.
Right, right.
So this turnaround shows an alternative that you can play with. I should I should pick it up from time to time when I see it.
Right. If I see it, there's no reason for me not to do it.
Right.
Like if I don't think about who put it there, and if I just see it, I just can grab it and put it back to its place, and that's it. Right?
And then that same leading by example, you're thinking about your son. She sees you thinking about your son. She may start to think about your son. And the
Right.
reason for picking up becomes really clear instead of some kind of, uh, you know, like I said, power struggle.
Right. And she's starting the teenager age right now, so she thinks it's all about power and us demanding her to do stuff. So that makes a lot of sense too.
Right,
So,
right,
interesting.
right. So you can just step right into that trap,
Mm-hmm.
or pick it up and show the importance of safety for the little one.
Right. Love that.
So, is there another turnaround? She should have put the tripod back.
Well, she shouldn't have to put the tripod back, and it's true because she didn't. So that's one true.
You can argue with it all day long, but in the end, she still didn't do it.
Right.
It's in the past. You can't control the past. It's done.
It's gone.
So,
It's exactly what happened. She didn't put it back. That's it. That's the reality of it. And like she
so what could
shouldn't.
have been? Yeah, go ahead.
Like I was thinking that she shouldn't because if I keep going back, like when I saw it, I could have made a different decision and pick it up and take it back to its place instead of waiting for her to do it. So that's another reason why she shouldn't, because I could have done it when I saw it right there. I had the chance to do it and I decided not to do it and wait for her. So that makes sense too.
How about another way I like to look at shoulds is on these turnarounds is like she shouldn't have put it back. Should in the sense of like she shouldn't have. How is it understandable that she didn't? Like she shouldn't have put it back. What could have been going on for her that would make it hard for her to put it back or make it understandable when she doesn't? Just to see that point of view.
Hmm. It's actually interesting because we were getting the camera ready for a game that I had last night, and we were kind of in a rush to get out. So we were charging the battery of the camera, and we had to do like everything in a rush. And then we run outside, and then we came back home really late at night, like really late for them to go to bed because it was like almost 11 p.m. and they should have been in bed like since 9 at least. So it was already late. So I was rushing her to go to bed as fast as she could. So that's definitely a good reason for leave it there. She was not paying attention at that at all. She was just like trying to do what I told her to do, which was get a bed. And we didn't have time to like see things that were dropped or anything like the tripod. It was just like a completely miss in all of us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that makes it really understandable. Like she didn't even have the opportunity to put it back. You had to leave in a rush
Right.
and then you came back, you had to go to bed.
Right. I didn't look at it that way at all. She didn't have the chance. Yeah, you're right. She didn't. And I didn't give her the chance either. Like, I was just rushing her. This morning was a rush to get out of the
Right,
house, so she was not, and that was not a priority at all.
right. And you never know. She may have even wanted to put it back, but
Oh, hold on, Todd. I'm not
yeah,
listening to you for some reason. I lost my audio.
you don't hear me? Okay.
Uh,
I hear you okay.
Sorry, just give me 1 second.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I can hear you now. Yeah, something happened to my
Okay.
speakers.
Okay. Great. No problem. So it's interesting how she didn't have the opportunity either yesterday afternoon or last night or this morning, and you never know what she would have done if she had had the time. Um, you
Hmm.
never know. So it's like not a fair test.
Right, and I'm blaming her without a fair chance. You're right. It's hmm. And I can see that in my mind being very judgmental because of what happened before. So I take that as some kind of like, or I already know what happened. So I already know what's happening right now and what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm not giving her a chance at all. I'm just judging her
Right.
for all those things before she
Right.
even tries, or I give her the chance to prove me wrong or do something different.
Right.
Hmm.
Which is exactly what teenagers all talk about. It's not fair. You judge me on things I did in the past and you never gave me a chance. Like I
It's
can hear
true.
that same feeling coming from that age group, from anyone, but especially that age group.
Right. And she even mentions that sometimes. It's like, oh, but I do it sometimes and you don't congratulate me for doing it because we're just expecting her to do it and it's not a big deal for her to do it. But when she doesn't do it, then it's a big deal. It's
Right.
interesting. It's
You
interesting.
feel like she can't win, right?
Right. No matter what, she's going to lose. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I'll either get nothing or I'm going to lose, but I'm never going to win.
Right. And I noticed that I'm even judging her without listening to her, which I think is a bit more serious because, like, with the tripod, I haven't even talked to her yet because she's at school. And in my
Mm,
mind, I'm already like saying a bunch of things and like I'm judging her for not doing it. I'm just waiting to come back home to let her know why she didn't do it. And I'm already doing all these things in my mind. And she didn't even get a chance to talk to me and the reason why she didn't put it back, which is now we discover why that is.
cool.
Hmm.
So I love that way of looking at these should turnarounds. She should have put it back, turn around. She shouldn't have put it back. Why is it understandable that she didn't put it back? Then it's like so interesting what we found just now.
Yeah.
So let's see. Is there another turnaround? She should have put it back.
Mm, already put. I should put it back. I'm not seeing any other. Do you see any other one?
Well, let's look at it. She should have put it back. Turned around. I should have put it back. And then she shouldn't have put it back. And it doesn't really look like there's a turnaround to the other so much. It's involved. It's just, 'cause it's like I should have put her back. Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's about it. Just two simple turnarounds there, but some really interesting examples.
Yeah. And some of them like lead me to the thought itself that I went back to it. My thought of that she should put it back, like questioning that thought alone, I think it makes a lot more sense too, because I had the chance to do it and I didn't do it. So I could judge myself for not doing it too instead of her.
Right.
But in my thought, it was just like, oh no, I'm gonna save myself from this one, and it's all in her. When in reality, it's not. So
Right.
it's really interesting.
And then in the end, you can see the innocence in both of you. You know, you both hurried away from the house, came back late, got up early, had to do something right away. So in everyone's case, no one had a chance to put it back. And so, yeah, your son got hurt, but it wasn't like it's almost it's you can learn from it maybe for next time, but it's so understandable that it happened. That's all.
Yeah. And I can see how I even can see now how you can just let it pass because it's just a tripod. It's not a knife or something that he could like really hurt himself with. It's made of plastic. It's not really. He just probably just grabbed it the wrong way or something, but it's not really a dangerous thing anyway. So
Right. And that's part of that fight. You know, the mind will make it, see, this is more proof that you didn't put things away. It exaggerates. He got really hurt, even though it was not that bad a hurt. The mind makes it bigger
yeah.
and then uses that as the proof that she's really wrong and I need to really come down hard and
Mm,
like that.
right, and it makes it more weight to it. It puts more weight
Right.
into the blame for her that I have in my mind. Oh, she's more guilty. You see, it's because of this.
Right. That's what we all do, this is what countries do when it comes to war. They make the enemy out to be much worse than they are. They find the worst things and they exaggerate and they make that really well known in the news, or they even make up fake things, doesn't matter, but they will find something that will make them have the justification to go in and attack on that country. So we all do the same thing in our own personal lives. We exaggerate. It's just, yeah. So it's good to see what the mind does and then just see, is it really true? Is it necessary?
Yeah, I see. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Great little piece of work. I love it. Sometimes these smallest little, tripod on the floor situations they contain so much. They're so uh, valuable to work. So I look for those kind of situations when I'm living my life day to day. Uh, I'm waiting. What thing is going to just be that tripod on the floor that's going to make me get upset somehow? And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when I do the work on it, it shows me so much how I can live, how I can relate, how I can, it just shows me options. So it's a wonderful practice. And it just goes to show that you don't have to have something huge to do the work. It doesn't have to be super big or serious. The work is just a way of looking at situations in different ways. So, yeah. And, there's also kind of some underlying beliefs that can be questioned in this as well. Like, she doesn't do what I tell her to do. Like that's also in there. Or she ignores me or she doesn't listen to me. Those kind of thoughts also address that power struggle. Um, but it's a little more abstract. The underlying belief is on the more abstract level. The tripod situation is like more concrete, almost easier to see because it's so like you can touch it. You know exactly what you're talking about when you're working it. So anyway, thank you for your work.